Welcome to Issued for Construction. I am your host, Jonathan Jacobs, and today I've got with me a woman who started a business a couple of years ago. We've just spent the last, call it hour, having a ton of fun chatting, talking about all things from family to business to operations to sales. And then when she was going to get into the beginning of like how she started her business, I was like, wait, stop, no, I want to hear it fresh. Today I've got with me Clarisa Llaneza from Clarisa Llaneza Studio.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for saying yes to this. I messaged you through Instagram not even a month ago.
I think 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
I was like, want to waste some time with me? And you're like, sure. I was like, okay, cool.
It was like, what do you want me? I'm so excited though.
So we'll get to the whole story of how Clarisa has made her business and how she's become, I would say wildly successful in a short period of time.
Thank you.
And we'll get through all of that, but nothing happened in her life without the very beginning of life. So let's talk about, one, where were you born? Two, what was family like? Siblings, parents, what did they do? And then we'll go from there.
Amazing. I am a Dominican from Dominican Republic.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Very different from here.
Yeah.
And I come from a very large family.
Define large.
We're 8 siblings.
You have 8 siblings?
Yeah.
Including you or plus you?
Including me. Including
There's
myself.
8 of you.
Yeah. So my dad from previous marriages has 5.
Okay.
And then for my mom and my dad, who are still together, it's myself, then my brother, and then my sister.
Okay.
So we're 5 boys, 3 girls.
Okay.
And it's wild. The house was always full. Always full.
And is I guess the age would be completely different from.
Oh, our age, like literally, like my brother could be my dad, probably my older brother. It's no, I'm joking, but no, it's a huge age gap. But we, it's amazing. It's fun. There's always something. And we lived with a million cousins, and my mom had a lot of siblings too, and so did my dad. So it was. Christmas was insane. And
where in the Dominican did you live?
Santo Domingo, just the city in the capital.
Okay. Later in this conversation, Clarisa talks about a couple she once designed a home for who, long after the project was finished, sat her down for dinner not as clients but as friends, thanking her for pushing them towards choices they didn't expect to love. That kind of relationship, one that starts at the sale and never really ends, is exactly the philosophy behind Kaplan's Appliances. Whether working with an architect, a designer, a builder, or a homeowner directly, the team at Kaplan's treats the point of sale as the beginning of the relationship, not the finish line. Rob and the team he's brought in, along with Janine handling industry relations, are known throughout the trade for the kind of ongoing communication and service that keeps clients coming back project after project for decades through generations. If a renovation or new build is on the horizon, head to Kaplan's Appliances to experience that difference. The product line they have is endless, from Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Jenn-Air, Fisher & Paykel, La Cornue, and more. They have outdoor brands for your outdoor kitchen and hosting. And while you're at it, if you're interested, head over to the liner notes. You can find their contact information there to the website, or email me directly. It's Jonathan, JONATHAN @issuedforconstruction.ca. You can also give this podcast a 5-star review if you're listening. It's going to help with exposure. And you can follow along on Instagram to see the projects that we talk about with the guests. Now, back to Clarisa.
It was amazing. I feel like I always tell my husband it was the childhood that I that's from a book in a way. Like I was always climbing a tree, on a coconut tree or a mango tree, always climbing a fence or somebody's roof and riding wild horses.
Somebody's roof.
Literally. My parents would be like getting a call, like, she's on the roof again. But it was fun and it was wild. Like we rode horses and milked cows and.
First time I ever rode a horse was in Dominican Republic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, riding is the best.
Yeah.
It's
I remember.
amazing.
I don't know if I feel like I told this story with someone else. Like, I don't know. I was like 10 or 11. Oh. And we went, I don't know what resort we went to, the resort itself was not amazing, but I had the experience of getting on a horse. My parents let me go. I was like a 10, 11-year-old by myself with like the guide and a few other people. And I remember riding on the horse along the beach.
Wasn't it amazing?
It was one of the most thrilling things I've ever done.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because still to this day, when I'm just thinking about how to calm myself down, and I literally think of myself like riding in a specific place on our old farm with like, just like, it's just for me, that was therapy. Right. And like the fact that we were outside so much, I feel like I still lean towards that all the time, like just wanting to be outside.
Did you were you grooming your horse? Were you grooming them?
Oh, we had to do all the work. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you have to. It's part of
pulling off the horseshoes, putting the ones on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had people also that helped us.
Okay,
but
I want to make sure.
No, 100%. We had farmers that helped us and everything. But and we also rode in the city because we used to ride on the weekends on the farm, and then during the city we used to jump. So we did equestrian.
During the weekends, you jump?
No, during the week. We trained. Yeah.
Really?
My siblings and I. Yeah.
You were like in a full-on equestrian background?
We loved it. Yes. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I'm scared of even walking. It's crazy how life changes.
Turned 40. I'm like, no.
It's like now I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
I got out of bed this morning. My back.
I know. Literally.
So you and your siblings were looking after like all different kinds. What other animals were on your property?
Well, it's like crazy because our house also looked like a zoo because we lived in the city, right? And our house, we had so many dogs, and we would have turtles and snakes and like little birds that we would rescue, but also little parakeets and hamsters that actually, I don't know if you've known, like they eat each other. It's like awful.
I've told that story on here too.
Yeah.
Grade 3. Remember that when Babs ate her daughter?
Oh my God. It's so traumatizing.
Well, because there's like one of them is the one that like would have been like a defect of some kind.
Yeah.
And they just eat them.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. It is. It is wild to see it.
Did anyone listening to this right now expect that you'd be listening to us talk about hamsters eating each other? I don't think so.
Please make me look good.
Are you kidding?
Imagine like, oh my God, that Clarissa is always just thinking about dead hamsters and snakes and horses.
We are not the ones eating our kin. Okay?
No, we're not. We're not. Never. Yes, they are.
So,
but it was insane. I think I literally refused to get my kids hamsters because of that.
I have distinct memory of being like 9 years old and watching that happen, and the entire class gathered around to watch that happen. And you're like, well, I wasn't expecting that today.
I know. We actually once, like there was a bird that fell from a tree, and we put it in a cage. We were trying to help it, and we had a terrace, and a snake came from just outside, and ate the bird, and then obviously couldn't get out after. And it was a massive snake, and we took it to the zoo. So, I mean, the life was that. It was very much climbing trees. I had slingshots and like in my pockets all the time. It was just that type of childhood.
That were made
with my dad and I. We all made it together.
Just wanted you to say it.
No, we didn't buy it.
Store-bought.
No, we made it. No, we made it. It was that type of childhood.
I mean, it's pretty amazing. What did your parents do?
My dad worked, he was an import-export, and he worked a lot with sugarcane, etc. And he was a businessman. And my mom was an architect, but she was mainly a stay-at-home mom. Yeah.
Your mom was a licensed architect?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. She practiced for a little bit, and she would practice here and there, but she was mostly home. And I feel like a lot of that comes from there. Yeah. For me.
Raising 8 children might require.
No, she raised only 3. Let's make that
fair.
Clear.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Mom,
she raised, but
I apologize for the mistake.
Yes. But I mean, a lot of the other children or my siblings would come, and spend time there for the summer. And so my mom was also very much involved in their lives as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were your interests like outside of like play in nature and exploration? Like what else were you interested in? Did you like to read books? Did you like to do science experiments?
Yes. And yes. I loved reading. And what were you reading?
Were you reading like fiction, nonfiction, or how old?
I mean, at that age, I think it was all just like, I don't even know what you would call it now because they were all in Spanish. So if it's like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, if that was even it, I wouldn't know.
Okay.
But it was diary-like books and things about, like investigating things, more like that. And then eventually I got into novels as I grew up. But then also love doing science kits. And it's funny because my oldest, Henry, is obsessed with science kits, and I love doing them with him. It's like going back. Now he's into microscopes, and I remember loving just grabbing a leaf and seeing all of it, and just all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
National Geographic.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
And my oldest we got her subscription for her birthday last year, and she can't wait for it to come in the mail.
Oh, that's amazing.
The day she gets it, she's like immersed in the magazine for a couple days.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's exactly, because like the best thing to be immersed in, right?
I mean, go learn about the world you're living in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And science experiments.
Yes.
Like this is not like
but our science
this
experience
is not like a magnifying glass to ants, is it? Or is it?
and lizards. Literally. That's why I was like, I don't know if you want me to tell the ones that we actually did, but
It was biology.
It was literally biology. It was yep. And yes.
What happens when the sun hits them at a magnifying glass?
All of that. It was but like again, it was fun, and it was very hands-on, and we were always dirty. And my dad would hose us down with like a hose before walking into the house. It was just fun.
I just made the reference of the joke of like our kids were dirty a couple days ago, and I said to my wife, I'm like, it's gonna be like Shawshank. They're gonna come home and throw powdered soap on them, and I'm gonna spray them down with a hose. Literally,
it's the best. I mean, we do that sometimes with my kids. They're always dirty, but it's the best. Like it's how it should be, really.
Yeah. So tell me about, kind of the evolution of you as a kid into a young adult, and what did you take to in school? What were some of the interests? What did they look like? Was it art? Was it English?
It's art for sure.
And when did you move away from Dominican?
Okay, so I loved art and science. They were my favorite. Like when you had to, like, I don't know, even as gross as it sounds, but like even when you had to open the frog, I was just always curious, always into art. My mom knew that from an early age, and she would put me in art camps, and she would do arts with us, and she gave us a wall, like a white wall, for us to just do whatever we wanted with it. So we always be painting on the wall and coloring and like
doing indoor wall or not?
An indoor wall. And then she would just paint it every few months, and then we'd just start all over again.
That's so cool.
It was so cool. So it was always, I think I've always been curious. And I used to love sketching, and I would sit down and like paint, like draw my horse or horses or just things, and just hands. I was obsessed with eyes and hands and horses and just trees. And it was, just sketching all the time. So I thought I wanted to be a graphic designer.
Okay.
And
how old were you?
When I thought I wanted to be a graphic designer, I think I was probably like 14 at that point.
Okay.
Like 13, 14.
So you knew of the job, like you knew of the profession at the time.
Yeah, I did. I did. Because my parents would always send us to these schools. There's a school called Altos de Chabón, which is affiliated to Parsons in New York.
How quickly you just said that. Say it again.
Altos de Chabón, or Chabón, we called it. And she would always take me to courses there. So I started learning about those things at an early age. But I also thought I wanted to be a pediatrician because I just loved kids. But my grandfather crushed that dream pretty quick.
Why?
He was just like, you're not going to survive one day. You're too sensitive. Like, you're going to have to get home to your husband. I don't know, very much just like he washed me away from that dream very quickly.
I've heard a lot of people that were interested in wanting to go into like health and sciences that are in the creative field now.
Yeah.
So many people deviated from it, where it was the main interest in the beginning.
I honestly don't think I would have been able to do it anyway. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. I think. I really truly think that.
All right. Well, let's get there.
Yes.
We got time.
We'll get there.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the evolution of teenagehood and what that looks like.
Besides me, like sometimes running out of school without.
Let's talk about that too.
No, I feel that. I think it's funny because now I asked my parents the other day, it's like, was I even good at school? And I would always get in trouble in math and whatnot. But I graduated with very amazing grades, and I was always, like into theater. I was a theater kid, and I was always kind of like a little bit on the naughty side in a way, like causing some trouble, but I was a good kid. And I always did my work. I put in the work.
Causing trouble, but not causing harm. That's
Never
the
causing
difference,
harm. No, absolutely
right?
never. No. I think my parents would also like completely.
Yeah, I get it, but defining the difference between the two is also important.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
there are kids out there that are like getting in trouble because they're causing
Yes.
harm,
No.
and there's those that are out there that are getting in trouble because like just it's kind
No.
of fun.
I literally had very strict parents. Like literally after I was living already in New York, and I would come home and I had a curfew. So I was like, but I don't have a curfew in New York. I live alone. My dad's like, doesn't matter. So
Welcome home.
yes, welcome home. And I appreciate that. Now as an adult and as a parent, I really understand the importance of, sitting at the table properly and sitting guidelines and like having family dinner together.
Yeah.
It's so important. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, just causing trouble, but not harm. I think that's exactly what I was doing. And yeah, I don't know. Am I derailing? Probably.
Not at all. Am I derailing? No.
I'm like, my brain is like,
why? Welcome to a conversational podcast.
Yeah.
The whole intention.
Yeah. And then we would build, one thing that I need to note is that I think part of me going into my career was also not just my mom giving me a wall, but also we would build tree houses and like build little forts with like all these different type of trees and leaves that we would find.
Okay, let's talk about
that. Was really cool.
Like you're talking like you're planning on some.
It was so fun.
So before I even ask you that question, I want to know: do you still feel are you still anxious or no?
No.
See, I told you it wouldn't take long. Okay, good.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm good. Thank you.
You're welcome. I just wanted to make sure. So we talk about tree houses. Like I have this distinct memory when I was young and when we had our first like cottage, using all this leftover wood from wherever you could find it and building a tree house.
Yeah.
And it was never complete.
Yeah.
But it existed.
Yes.
And it didn't matter what was inside of it, what bugs were there, like what was crawling inside, if it was the home of like a local raccoon or like whatever it would have been. Yeah. What was it like for you? How high was it? Did you need a ladder to get up to it? Was it a rope?
We would just climb the tree. We would like climb between a fence and a tree. And then we would, it was, some of them were on the ground under a tree. So we would make them out of these big leaves that I remember when they were like, when they would fall before they like really dried up, they would be wider and then they kind of curled up. Yep. And then we would call them the pea leaves because they would fill with water and they would stink a little bit after. But we would like literally tie all of these and we would make forts. We would make forts out of fresh cut grass because we had a field next to our house and my family kind of took ownership of just taking care of it, even though it belonged to just the city, but nobody would take care of it. So my dad would always like have the grass cut and that we would play baseball. We would like all the grass, we would like make forts. We would actually make 2 forts to throw, like do a war and throw eggs at each other and whatnot. Or we would build, I don't know, it was just always just building things. And I was very interested in also the ants and how they would build. It's like all these built environments that I feel like as a child, I started noticing without noticing what I was noticing. And then as an adult, I started thinking more about like the things that I would be interested in, where a lot of those, like the shells.
Yes.
Yeah.
So have you ever, I follow, among the many things that my wife tells me I waste my time on Instagram, I follow a couple accounts on my personal account, not through Issues for Construction, of like nature accounts. And some of the coolest stuff that I've seen is watching ants on these accounts cross rivers.
What do you mean cross rivers?
They build bridges out of them.
What? I did not know this.
Yes.
That's amazing.
They will hold on to each other and they'll wait for like the flow of the water to keep moving and they continue to crawl across each other.
That's amazing.
And they build like a freaking bridge so they can cross water.
I love that. You see, like, what are we doing?
Right?
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Unbelievable. I'm like, I don't understand. How do they float? They're not using, like, there's a raft.
You need to send me this. I need to see this.
I can send it to you.
I definitely want to see this.
So I say it only because, like, when you look at some of those accounts, I'm sure some of you listening might have seen, like, years ago, there was an account that showed this anthill and how they filled, it had been vacated. It was empty. and they used concrete and poured concrete into like really quick forming concrete
Their little
through
tunnels.
the holes.
Yeah.
And then they excavated. And then they dug away like all of them, brushed off all of the sand in the ground. And you saw the size and magnitude
And the complexity of
this
yeah.
ant like mega city.
Yeah.
Underground.
Yeah.
It was wild.
It's amazing.
Anyhow. So
that's amazing. No, but that's exactly what I was.
You open up a can of beans?
I know. Yeah. Now I'm going to literally probably make an ant farm with my kids or something. But it's just, it's all there.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're young, you either notice it or you don't, right? And
think about the kids nowadays and the difference between what we're experiencing, like playing with dirt back then, to kids wanting to like be indoors and on a screen now.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, limit screen time. Get the kids
get them
outside
out.
playing with dirt.
100%.
Yeah. Hose them down.
Hose them down. My hose is like literally by the entrance.
Later in this conversation, Clarisa shares a phrase she picked up early in her career. Perché no? Why not? When a builder tells her something can't be done, her instinct is to ask why not and push until she understands whether it's actually true. That same why not mentality is what defines The Doors. For 20 years, The Doors has worked alongside homeowners, architects, designers, and builders to bring the same ambition to windows and doors, offering a full range of materials, glazing options, spans, and even curved profiles. They also handle lift and slide doors and every form of exterior door, hitting top performance levels without added costs for shop drawing revisions or custom colors. And to make things even more interesting, they've got their own cutting machine for aluminum products here in Toronto, and they've got their own spider crane for installations. No more headaches waiting on a rental, determining when are you going to get it, when's it going back, and what's the cost. If your next project calls for windows and doors that refuse the standard answer, reach out to Martin and Marta at The Doors. You can find their contact details in the liner notes, or you can email me directly. It's Jonathan, Jonathan, at issuedforconstruction.ca. And if this episode has you thinking differently about your own space, leave this podcast a 5-star review and give us a follow on Instagram. Now, back to Clarisa. So moving through that and getting into, the high school and like what were the subjects that you were really leaning towards? Did you know that you were going to go into design? And if you did, what did the portfolio look like? Tell me a little bit about that.
So, it's interesting because I did one of those tests that they give you in school for you to try to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it told me that I needed to be a lawyer, that I would not be an architect, or anywhere in design, which was it actually kind of crushed me a little bit because I was like, what do you mean? But then again, Chavong, you're wrong. And I'm going to prove you're wrong. But Chavong they had brought some people from abroad into the city and they were giving some lectures. And I remember I was still in my head about wanting to be a graphic designer. And my dad took me to these series of conference or whatever it was. And he said, don't totally forget about architecture. Like your mom's an architect. And what's interesting about architecture is that you will touch points on all of these disciplines. Like if you design a hospital, you're going to have to think like a doctor. You have to understand what they do. If you do a law office, like all these things is a very broad subject. So like, don't discard it. And I really kept that in the back of my head. And I ended up actually going to architecture school. So that really stuck with me.
Okay, so talk about like, how did you get there? 2, where did you go? Let's talk through some of that.
Yeah. So oh my God, it's like my brain is ping ponging.
I know.
There's so many different factors to it. I was lucky enough also, reversing a little bit, that when I was I think 15, 16, I forget. I studied abroad. And I was at the American School in Switzerland, and they send us to L'Ermitage in St. Petersburg, to this insane, museum in Russia. And I remember we were doing photography and we went to this museum when it was closed, and we opened all the old archives in the dark light. We had to put a whole thing suit. And I don't know, there was something about the spaces in Europe in general and the architecture and the churches and all these things. And then coming back and having to make these decisions, the beauty of taking care of these old things as well. And I don't know if I'm like, again, derailing, but there's
no.
so much for me in all of that. And then when the moment came to make the decision, first of all, my parents were always very supportive as to whatever I wanted to do. And the fact that you could always figure it out. But they were also very much about like old school and the way that they wanted those type of careers. Like either you were like a doctor or an architect, like, yeah, very much like that. Like, so I feel like they really guided me into that. It was not a hard decision when it came to, I applied to university in DR. It's called UNIBE. And I did my undergrad in architecture and it was like mixed within Europe and also in Dominican. And then I graduated.
Hold on. I do want to go back to something. You talked about going to Switzerland and then St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
My parents, I don't know. They just,
but how? Like, what did they have a conversation with you?
Yeah, of course.
Really great if you went and looked at these courses.
Yeah, so they would always give me the options. It was actually my mom and my dad that put it in the table. I didn't even know about these schools, and they knew that I was interested in design in general, and also like they always wanted me to practice more French as well. In general, so I would go to l'École de Roche in France, and they just wanted, I don't know, for all of us actually to just broaden our wings, right? Like DR is a small island, and as much as I love it, and I sometimes really wish I was still living there for many reasons, they always kind of saw that I might not stay, so they wanted to give me the option to just like be able to. And it's funny because my mom, it was Mother's Day in Dominican yesterday.
Happy Mother's Day, belated.
Yes, thank you. I'll tell her. But you think again as a mom, and one of the things that my mom always says is like, one of the hardest things, but the best things I've had to do is like, you know, my job is to give you wings, right? And like, it's so hard to see that nest empty, but it's like the world is your oyster. And like, they really did raise me that way. Like I'm in Canada, you know what I mean? And like running my own business. And I feel it was very much from that sense of, we will support you and we will really try to be the wind below, like behind your wings so that you can just fly. And I feel like they were always ahead of that. They were always like, there's this school, like, why don't you go explore that? Or there's this conference, like, why don't you explore that? Because back then there was no internet, right? It was all like a pamphlet, and you would have to look at these schools and all these lectures on like a catalog and be like, okay, I guess this is it.
We're like the last generation, by the way, of that.
I know.
Right? Like
I know.
The next generation after us. It's completely different. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. No, and that was that. It was just, they were always, you know, talking to see how they would help us. Like even the way that I actually ended in New York.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry. Okay.
How old were you when you went to New York?
20.
Okay, so we're not ready for that yet.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
We're still in the. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm only saying it because I actually want to get into if you can.
Yeah.
To remember what it was like as a teenager moving away from family and moving to Europe.
Yeah.
And what it would have been like when, you know, I'm sure that they came with you, right? Set you up?
No.
Oh.
No.
So, okay. Thank you.
No.
I made an assumption and I was completely wrong.
No.
Tell me. Wow. How did that work?
I think as Dominicans, I think all of this is pretty
standard.
That's
like, fine. I'm not judging it. I'm no.
And I no, you're not.
It's more so I'm curious to understand, like when you applied and you got into these schools, one, what was the application process like? So was it an easy thing? Did you need a portfolio to get in?
Yeah.
And two, once you're there, I assume, or actually I should ask the question instead of assume. Let me ask the question.
Yeah.
Were they they're international schools?
Yeah, they're international schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, by asking the question, I can't be wrong.
But also, like, a lot of these were also, let's say, even a summer camp.
Okay.
So, and I would go sometimes with a friend.
Okay.
Sometimes without any friend, which sucked.
So what was it like? You get on a plane with your belongings and you arrive and then you're put up in a dorm.
Yeah. And somebody would be waiting for you because we were just kids. But I remember that, like, flying alone.
Yeah.
My mom would always sob at the
airport.
And you know what? It's crazy. Towards like, because then I would be coming and going so often. there was a point my mom stopped coming to the airport because it was always
It was too much for her.
It was too much for her. And it was also, actually, it was too much for me too, because I think it would sometimes make it even sadder. But, like I would speak to them every day and the schools were great. And I never had a bad roommate.
When you were talking to them, and just for nostalgia,
Yeah.
did you call collect? Was it through Skype?
Yes.
Or did you have calling cards?
Skype did not exist.
20 years ago, Skype existed.
Really?
Yes.
Well, how old I am. But this was before 20 years ago. I'm 40. Oh my God.
I guess.
I don't think the Skype existed then.
In early 2000s, I guess maybe Skype wasn't around yet.
No. Skype is a new thing. Skype is when I was in doing my master's.
I know everyone that you're bored with this conversation about Skype, but I have to look this up while we're on this. When did Skype start? Yeah, I know. It's insane that I'm doing this while on, but you know what? It's worth it. I'm just curious.
No, I literally would go it was with the phone. Like I remember I would call my grandma. I remember calling my grandma when she was starting to, phase out a little bit from Cinque Terre, from a phone booth on the by the train station.
Yeah.
But that's also
2003, by the way.
2003?
2003 is when Skype started.
Oh, wow. I was graduating from high school.
Estonian developers. I like that too. That's cool.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
I did not know that. I don't think I knew Skype until...
See, I digressed.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, no, it was just a different world. And I feel like, I don't know if I even had a phone. I don't think I did.
I assume you wouldn't have. I
remember Orange, that company. Yeah. I remember it was European, and then when it came to Dominican.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. And I know that especially when I was at camp, I would get printouts on emails, or I would call from the phones. But yeah, no, it was just very supported. It was never you never felt alone.
What were you learning while you were there?
Photography.
Okay.
French.
Were you learning with
English,
with film, or were you learning digital?
Film.
Was it
film?
Yeah,
it was film, and also it was basically very focused on architecture.
Okay.
And it was part of my parents wanting me to understand if I actually really loved it. So, what I'm trying to say here is before I even went to university, I was already dabbling in learning about it because they wanted to make sure that I felt supported in all of that.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So you go to these schools and you get an experience of what this is like between, again, Switzerland, St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg was only for 2 weeks.
Oh, it was a camp?
St. Petersburg was a camp, yeah.
It was a camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. And now it's I would die to go, but how? Anyways, let's.
Yeah. So you finish these opportunities alongside high school. Did you have a portfolio from all of this?
I did. I have it was a portfolio of, just sketches and the base work that we would do, some initial concepts for buildings and stuff. But again, I wasn't really studying it at university.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you had you learned any of the softwares that were out then?
No. It was all by hand.
It's all hand.
Which we miss. I wish I could barely draw a line now, but yeah. So when I went to university, and I was already I already knew I loved it. I definitely knew that. And university for architecture was 4.5 years. So it was very much all of it, starting very with the concepts and all of that art, and the scale and all of that, and a lot of drawing, so many late nights.
Yeah.
And then to the end of your thesis. And I remember my mom would literally also pull all-nighters with me, doing maquettes, the trees and things. So it was hard, but it was amazing. Yeah.
So you finished 4.5 years. Had you established relationships with a number of peers in school? And when you were completing school, or actually, before I even get to that question, let me ask the other one. Throughout the duration of school, and I say school, I mean post-secondary.
Yeah.
Did you have opportunities to do co-ops? Did you have opportunities to be able to now learn software? What was that?
I only learned software in university.
Okay.
I only learned software in university.
What did they teach you? What?
CAD.
CAD, okay.
And Vector.
Okay.
Vector. Oh my God. Yeah, Vector. I haven't touched Vector in so long.
Remember Vector?
Yeah, Vector works. So yeah, we had CAD and Vector, and then everything was by hand. We drew like perspectives, like everything by hand. I remember when the pen, like you would be drawing your last line after like 20 hours of literally dying over a drawing, and then that pen would pop last minute and destroy your entire drawing. And I remember being like, what? And it doesn't matter. Like you would fail if that was it. Like you needed to like hand in a perfect perspective drawing. And yeah, and that was that. And
were you living at home, or were you?
I was living at home.
Okay.
I was living at home.
And how was that? I mean, the concept of, a lot of people talk about they go to university, they want to move away, they want to go and experience it differently. How was it for you living at home while you were in university?
I honestly think I would have not made it without that support. Like I would literally go on at it so hard. Like I would just like not sleep for like a whole week, and then I would crash. So like I loved being able to come to my bed, to be honest, and like blast the AC and sleep for 2 days straight after. But then like the reality was very different when I moved to New York. Because then I didn't have that.
Well, wait, before New York.
Sorry, I keep going ahead.
I know where it's going. But so the co-op thing did or did not happen?
What's a co-op?
Like a co-op was like an opportunity to have like an interim work placement.
Oh, yes. Sorry. So that's when I was at university, and my mom had studied with this incredible architect, Dominican architect that was working in New York. And his name was Rafael Alvarez. At this point, he had Alvarez Brock Design.
Okay.
And he came, and my mom literally told me, you need to be ready. Like after he came and give a speech at school, you need to be ready. You need to have your portfolio all printed. You need to set it up. And I was the only student because he was not looking for an intern.
Right.
And I was the only student that showed up, literally being like, I will come and work for you for free. Please take me with you. And he's like, I'm not looking. I was like, take it with you. Just please. Like, and I was like, and my mom, by the way, like I was just trying really just to get his attention. And he took the document with him. And then like later on, I reached out again. And anyways, and it ended up being that I did an internship with him. And it was great. I got carpal tunnel from it.
In New York.
I got carpal tunnel from it, from doing all the maquettes for like this bar in Vegas. Like we did this, like it was really cool. Anyways.
Do you have pictures of any of that?
I might on Facebook. I might. I should try to find them.
So one of my takeaways for you, if possible, as we're going to now talk this into reality.
Yeah.
You can find any of those old pictures.
Yeah.
Send them for the socials, for socials. Which, by the way, is anyone listening right now, I just make a small request. Head over and give this podcast 5 stars, whatever platform you're listening on, because it's going to help with exposure. And second, head over to Instagram, because now you'll be able to see Clarissa's
maquettes. Oh my God, I need to.
That caused carpal tunnel.
Oh my God. It was, because all I was doing was really like CAD, carpal tunnel, which is CAD, and then also the maquettes, cutting them for this. He did this place, I think it was called Rum Bar in Vegas. Oh my God, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this here. I don't know. And it was this like, this maquettes of this like cockfights basically, but like broken down into kind of like this a little bit like a cubist form, like very like a Picasso paint. Like it was all just shapes. So it was this like fights of this. So we were analyzing the movement of these, of the cockfights. And that's how he was like, he's a very smart man anyway. So highly creative. And I was picking up lunch too, a lot for everybody at the office.
And where were you living?
I was living on, we joked that it was called a nunnery. It was an all girls place on 13th. Very much like a dorm for girls. Yeah.
And where was the studio? How far away was it?
It was in Soho.
Okay.
So it was not hard to get to, but that was my first real life of learning just how to live like an adult, right? Like everywhere I had been, it was very much like, like Dominican, you don't really just walk on the streets alone. You're like not allowed, like you can't. So I always felt very cocooned and very safe everywhere I went, even in Europe, because it was always, it's different. And then New York, it was like, you have to manage your money and you have to know where to walk and at what time to walk. And it was just, I loved it. I thought always that when I went to New York, my plan was always to come back home. I loved living back home in my mind, but I feel like my parents knew I was not coming back. But my thought was that I was always going to come back. And then I just fell in love with just being able to sit, I don't know, at Union Square and just like watch everybody. And bring a book. It was amazing.
How long was this opportunity with him in New York?
So I was there for, oh my God, 3 months, I think, or 6 months. I don't, oh no. I'm so old. I feel like all my timelines are mixing.
You're so old.
I'm so old.
Yeah.
I know that I wanted to stay, and that's when the economy had crashed.
2008.
2008.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. And they were, bless you, they were being extra picky with, you had to hire American, and it was all of that. The economy had to stay within. And I remember I called my parents. I was like, I don't want to go back home. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, there's no other option. And bless you, bless you. All the applications for all the schools were closed. Like I couldn't, like, you apply, I guess, in the fall before school actually starts. But this was summer of 2008. And I think it was at this point, like August. And my family and myself, managed to get an appointment with somebody's receptionist at Parsons. And everybody was already on vacation because it was those 2 weeks before school starts. So all the teachers, all the directors, everybody goes away. Yeah. And we managed to get in through just literally asking around to an interview with the head of interior design, the head of lighting, and the head of architecture. I don't even know. We moved mountains to do that. And it was like, I remember it was like a 15 to 20 minute sit down that they were only going to give me.
This happened while you were still in New York?
Yes.
Okay. So did your mom fly in, or you were?
No, I was alone.
Hell yeah.
I was alone.
I love it.
Yeah. It was a lot of it was alone.
Later in this conversation, Clarisa describes a dream project, a small hotel where every room is designed around a different natural element, a room in the trees, a room on the ground, and a room on the water. That instinct to design spaces that blur the line between indoors and out is exactly what Aquanta Pools brings to life for homeowners. Working closely with Yuri and the Aquanta team means a pool that feels like a true extension of the home, thoroughly connected to the materials and landscape around it rather than an afterthought in the backyard. And they specialize in biodesign, a system relatively new here to Canada but utilized all over Europe and Asia. So whether the project is a new build or renovation, Aquanta brings that same level of care and craft to every detail. If you've been dreaming about your own connection to the outdoors, get in touch with Aquanta. Contact info's in the liner notes, or email me directly and I'll connect you with Yuri. My email address is Jonathan, Jonathan, @issuedforconstruction.ca. And before you go, take a moment to leave this podcast a 5-star review and follow along on Instagram. Now, back to Clarisa.
But my parents were like 100% being the ones like, how do you call it? Like the referee in the back end, like
coaching you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So were you running through mock interviews with your parents?
No. So no, with a friend was helping me while I was building my portfolio, cleaning it up for me to get this interviews.
Okay.
And then I showed up and I really did not want to know what I wanted to do, but it was like, okay, I don't want to go. My only option is to stay. And it's basically going to school so I can get a visa so I can work. So we decided on a master's. I was like, architecture, I already had done it 4.5 years. Like, I just didn't, I don't know. Anyway, so I was very interested in the lighting aspects. So that's when I got my master's in architectural lighting. And it was basically just thinking about, from those 3 areas, what I didn't know anything or as much about. And I wanted to just learn more. That. Yeah, I just wanted like the one that I just knew the least. And it was a very last minute decision. I think I got in by a miracle. I worked my ass off for it, but I did. It was a very last minute application. I didn't even have a visa to be able to work or study in New York.
This morning I had just had a conversation with I guess what I call a friend of mine. I don't know, acquaintance of mine. A guy I met while biking in the trail system here, has now moved out to BC.
Yeah.
And he was talking about decisions he made in his career, and he said, it was luck.
Yeah.
Like, man, come on, own it. You worked your ass off.
Yes.
Don't summarize years of effort and sweat and sleepless nights and all the rest of it and summarize that into luck.
Yeah.
It's
No, you're
not.
right. No,
It's not luck.
no, you're right. Thank you. I forget. We all forget that sometimes, but I did work my ass off.
Yeah.
I did. And I got in, and I remember.
So you had these interviews 2 weeks before school was supposed to start.
Literally.
And you were accepted.
They were not even accepting people.
Right.
They made an exception. It was honestly, it was insane. Derek Porter was the head of school at that point, and yeah, I'm very grateful for the opportunity. But it was insane to be able to do it, and I remember. And this is actually, I'm gonna pat my back a little bit on this one.
Thank you. Yeah, go for it. That's this format. Go.
Yeah, no, you did say this like therapy, feels like therapy. It's good. I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna fly after this. I did actually flew home, and school started after Labor Day.
So you flew home in those 2 weeks. You got in.
I literally got in, and I had to get my visa in one day. I flew home.
Yeah.
I remember my parents got me an appointment, a rushed appointment at the American Embassy.
Yeah.
And I showed up, and they're like, oh, it takes minimum a month for me to get you the visa back. I was like, no, ma'am, I have a flight at 6 p.m. and you're going to get me that visa.
Hey, just give me a piece of paper. Give me the pen.
And they were like, that's impossible. I'm like, nothing is impossible. You need to get me the visa. I start school and I need to get to that school. I worked really hard. And anyways, she went back, and in my mind, I was like, oh my God. And you can't even have a phone in the embassy. So it's all of this. My dad is waiting outside, and nobody knows what's happening. And I'm like begging this woman to give me a visa. And she gave it to me, and that was it. And I was like literally straight to the airport. I went to kiss my mom goodbye. My dad.
Your mom full tears again.
Full tears. She didn't take me to the airport that time. And I just went, and it was, yeah. And that was it. And then I never moved back home, which is wild because I always thought I was, but I just didn't.
Okay, so talk about experience of what it was like. Like you've experienced traveling for school and education a couple times before this. You went and had the opportunity to go work with this architect in New York, but now you're going and you're going to go study like one of the top schools in the United States.
Yeah.
And what was it like?
It was.
Give me one word.
Can I swear?
Yeah, sure.
It was fucked, but it was amazing. It was
explicit rating is now turned on.
Honestly, it was again, I felt that I was very sheltered until then.
It's funny you say that.
I know it's funny you say that. And I know it's just still like, it was always very controlled.
Oh.
Because I always felt safer, and then this was more like an adult real life.
Right.
Like also masters, like most people are, we're not really kids anymore. Right. And it's like, the effort your family is making to have you in this school. And you start really understanding it more because I guess when you're little, you just don't really understand. You just expect, like my dad would say, like money doesn't grow on trees, but like you didn't really understand that.
I just had the conversation with my daughter.
I tell that to my son every day.
No, I don't know. I like started to explain to my 10-year-old like the cost of running a house in a year. Here's what it costs. She was like, what?
Good for you.
And I was like, yeah, this is what it costs. So when you're asking, can we buy a chocolate bar?
Yeah.
Sometimes the answer is going to be no.
Yes. Yeah. It's like
understand money.
Understand money. No, it's so important. I'm still learning it, but yeah. So it was very much real life. It felt real, and it felt, I don't know, like just really real. I also met my husband there, so yeah.
Okay, what's up, lovebirds?
That's a whole different story.
I will say this: your body language when you said that you met your husband there completely changed. It's like you fell in love with him all over again.
I know.
In that same moment that you said it. So talk about some of the perhaps whether it's some of the classes. Maybe it's in some of the study groups, or not study groups, but other people that you were working with on class projects. Like, what did it feel like from a creative standpoint to be able to be immersed in a situation where you're surrounded by like-minded people? It
was amazing. And it really showed how much harder you had to work because, like everybody's better than you. Right. And the teachers were real life like professionals from like the best of the industry, which was insane. And they were not like gentle when they were giving you feedback. It was wild. So, you know, it was the real life. And you like, we worked really hard. We also like had the best time. Like it was a good crew. It was a good cohort. And we would like party late and then come back to school and just work until morning. And we just did it. A master's is hard. It's not, it was a lot of work. And architecture was really hard, but I had, you know, I felt like I had more support here. It was like, you need to remember to eat and you need to just like do
your laundry.
Be an adult. Oh my God. I'm not going to tell you about my time doing laundry. Anyways, that's a whole different, we should go for a drink after. I'll tell you everything. No, but it was amazing. It was an incredible opportunity. And it was so much learning about all the things that I never thought I would even understand.
So tell me about, let's call it the last couple of months, finishing up school, coming to the reality that, you know, your experience as a student is going to come to an end soon.
Oh yeah.
And you're going to have to go now and do something with all of this.
Yes.
And there is an associated weight that comes with that.
Yeah.
So what were you contemplating? Had you had opportunities in the same way at Parsons to be able to go and have job opportunities as intern anywhere?
Nope.
Okay.
And it was very scary and very hard, especially because that was still the economy was still awful. And it was
how many years was the program?
2.
It's a 2-year program. Okay.
Yeah. It was an architectural lighting master's. And
finished 2010.
Yes.
Okay.
It was 2010. And we were all looking, especially the non-Americans were like desperate. A lot of them had to leave, including my husband actually came to Canada. And I got a job and the last thing I wanted, which was sales. And I was just like, I'm not leaving. And I stayed. And I mean, listen, I was very good at it. I know I was. I guess I took it from my dad, and I did love it. And it gave me a lot of opportunities, but I wanted to be a designer and I knew I wanted to be a designer, but I just could not find a job in the design world.
Right.
And I just was like, if I go back, I will never get this opportunity of this landscape. Like lighting was not a thing in Dominican, right? As it is. And it's not, it's still a very much a career path that not everybody understands, right? Like in most projects, one of the first things that gets cut out, sadly, even though it's the most important architectural material that there is. But I worked with a Italian lighting manufacturer. It was great because I learned a lot. I traveled to amazing places as well with them.
Define some of these amazing places.
Italy.
Okay.
I mean, Italy is amazing. Europe in general is amazing. But then I was visiting my my boyfriend here. And I went for dinner with another lighting person here in Toronto. And I was applying for jobs in Toronto as a lighting designer, and nobody would hire me either because my husband was working for the top lighting design firm. So it was very hard. I couldn't get a design job. And I was like, again, crushed, but I got an offer out of nowhere. I was like, I remember when at that time Andy called me and he's like, so how would you feel about working with us? And I was like, I remember last night, like your wife and I were hitting each other with a wooden spoon, like after having a few drinks, like what? I didn't even know I applied to a job. And anyways, it ended up being an incredible opportunity. And I moved to Canada for it because I didn't want to just come without something for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that job opened so many doors as well. I was taking care of Canada and the US in sales, and then also the Caribbean.
Which company?
For an Italian lighting company, Via Vitsuno.
Okay.
Yeah. So traveled like Venice Biennale, like again, like incredible opportunity. And the good thing about that job is that it did have some aspects of design. I got to design a few things here and there, but it still wasn't it. I dabbled here and there, and I went to the development side for some personal things. I wanted to slow down and not travel more. Yeah. And then, I wanted to settle, start a family, and I was traveling. Like I would not see my husband for a month and a half sometimes because it was like a broad market. And then I worked with a developer for a little bit. Then our son was born. And then I had an idea about creating kind of like another creative outlet. I pitched it to some people. We did it. And then COVID hit. And then I was like, I'm going to lose my job, aren't I? And I was dabbling in design here and there. Are we getting there? Are we now getting where?
Kind of sounds like it to me.
Oh my God. And I remember I was helping a lot of friends, with their houses and such, and like picking a coffee table here and like picking faucets there and like paints and whatnot.
And were you paying attention to what was happening and like with other practices, or were you looking at like, any of the magazines or online websites, like anything that was like influencing your own design aesthetics, or
in the interior design world, you mean?
In any world.
I feel like I've always just been so interested in it that I don't know when I really, because I've always just been interested in the design magazines, the books. Like
paying attention.
Always, yeah. But during COVID, as a creative outlet, I remember posting about, like an architect in LA or like little things like that. And I feel like because I started posting in social media things that I was interested in, not just like my kid and like things like that, my friends even started being like, oh, can you help me with this? Because they started seeing my interest more out in the world. And from that, one of my best friends actually, who had an interior designer, was asking me to help them with something. And I said, why don't you ask your interior designer? And they're like, well, she charges me. You don't. And I kind of like, that made me actually quite angry and sad. And I vented to my now mentor, who's my friend, who was literally sitting at our steps during COVID when we couldn't talk to each other, or touch each other. Yeah. And we would be drinking wine. And he said, well, you're an idiot. Like, why do you always help all these people? Like, you're so talented. Like, you should be like, I had designed an entire house for our project that didn't, like, it couldn't work because of COVID. And he's like, I saw your drawings and you were like this, like, you should like do your blah, blah, blah. And then anyways, like, I was so upset by that conversation. That
at him or at the realities that he brought forward?
The realities that he brought forward. And to be honest, like, he was quite harsh and I love him for it. He's still.
Sounds like he was a Prophet Parsons.
He's what?
Sounds like he was a Prophet Parsons.
Yes. No, he should be. But he is literally, our offices are next to each other now. Like, I love him so much. His wife is one of my best friends, but it was because I needed that slap in the face. And I was like, scared to make the jump. It was always in the back of my head, but I never felt like I had enough.
Yeah.
Because I've never had really worked in interior design. I didn't even study interior design. Right. I never practiced in a proper design studio. So in my mind, I was like, I don't have it. But then I was like, honestly, fuck it. What do I have to lose? Like, the world is crumbling with COVID.
Yeah.
We're all locked up.
Yep.
And like, I'm going to offer my friend to help her for free and I'm going to create a portfolio. And that's what I did. And I did a house in Rosedale. She paid me because she's, like a good friend. But
I can't not pay you.
No, she did. And she's a great friend. And it was my first proper project. And it was full house. It was, basically the full house. I took over from another designer that had done some of the work. And we basically just took it all and we did the full house. It was amazing. It was a lot of learning. The fact that she trusted me with it, or her family trusted me with it, and her husband, was incredible. And I'm forever grateful. And from that, like, I would do a powder room in somebody's house and a basement laundry room. And I started creating the snaps and the thing. And Instagram was a huge, like, propeller.
Right. So tell me about trying to figure out in the very beginning, you get this opportunity. And I know that you kind of went past it and you got some of these other projects and social media.
Told you I spiral.
That's okay. I'm going to bring you back. I'm pressing rewind on the VHS system. For those that are unaware, that is a tape you could watch of movies. Okay. Not all of us always just had Netflix.
I know.
And Prime and Hulu and everything else that you can just watch on demand. Okay. You have to go to a movie store. You have to go find it. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I'm rewinding the thought. So I'm taking you to, she gives you this opportunity. She says yes to it. You don't have a business.
I started one that night when my friend yelled at me. We had drank some wine and my husband went to sleep and I took his credit card and I went to a website called owner.com and I literally texted my friends back home being like, do you like Clarisa Llaneza Studio better, like Clarisa Llaneza Design, or should I call it the studio? It was very much just like that. And I just did it. I registered it. And the next day I went to my friend's mentor's house, to their backyard. And he was so sweet. He was like, I'm so sorry. I was so hard on you last night. We should talk about it. I was like, oh, I already started my company last night. And he was like, what? So it was very much just that. Like, we just did it. I just went for it.
How did you establish like some basic business principles, but like invoicing and doing things like that?
By learning the hard, first of all,
say it. Yeah.
Learning the hard way. Like there was a lot of things that I would forget to invoice, like because it was early on and
we weren't able to track hours correctly.
And I also like the imposter syndrome. Oh my God. I would not feel like I deserved the hours that I put in. I didn't feel that, if it took me all the time and sleepless nights and I thought it was like, I have no experience. Like, this is a favor that they're doing me. And like, it took me a long time to feel that I've earned my stripes. And that's a real thing.
Isn't it funny how that's the case when you grew up with an architect as a mom?
Yeah.
You dabbled in design as a child.
Yeah.
You went abroad and learned more about it.
Yeah.
You went abroad again and got a master's in it. And then you show up to your friend to provide a solution to them and you feel like you have imposter syndrome. Yeah. Isn't it funny? Like how the mental psyche works?
Yeah. And to be honest, like I feel I'm like, and like I didn't ever want to sound like I'm tooting because I'm not. I've
been trying to promote you tooting your own horn.
No, but I do have a lot to learn. And I feel like the day that we stop learning, like we're dead, right? Like I really much want to learn. There's so much to learn, but I have always been trying to educate and better myself in that sense. And I've always been curious. And I feel like it's all, like design is such, like I will die without design. I love it. I live it. It's like to the point that like ants are designers for me. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it's like a need for me. It's a need for my mental health. I need it to feel like more stable in my life. So I've put the hours in, but I'm still struggle sometimes to feel that I'm not necessarily, like I literally, the other day we sat at a table and I was with these incredible designers. And for me still, even though now they're my friends, designers that I've never in my life thought that they would even know who I would be. And we text now and we talk and we go for wine and lunch and whatnot. And still to this day, I feel very much, and they actually said the same thing to me because I mentioned that to them and they were like, you know what? I feel the same. Like I still feel that like the fact that I get to sit on the table with these people is still, and I hope that it will forever be something that, like.
I got to say this, and I've said this on previous recordings and stuff too. So like I worked in TV at one point. I interned at a sports network and then I worked at a TV show with a lot of like big name musicians. And one of the things that has always stuck out to me and something that has allowed me to feel grounded around other people is you're either going to end up 6 feet down or in a vase.
Yep.
Or, I mean, maybe you're going to, from that vase, you're going to get sprinkled in other places and stuff.
Yeah.
Every time anyone you're ever going to speak to on the phone, They're going to have to go to the washroom.
Yeah. My dad says that to me too.
Okay.
That's so funny. Yeah.
There's a good chance that when they leave, it might stink.
Yeah.
And I apologize that I'm saying it as crudely as I am.
But it's true.
But the reality is that it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter that someone else across from you could have exponential wealth.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they are someone that you greatly admire. They are the same. They're still walking the earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
They might have just had a different way of getting to where they got.
Yeah.
But you can't take away from your path.
Yeah.
You can't feel the imposter syndrome. And I could tell you, I mean, as I'm saying this, I get it sometimes.
Yeah.
I totally have it.
But there's also something, I think, humbling about having it. And I feel like in a way, because it comes a lot from respect and admiration as well.
Fair. Yep, that's fair.
So I feel that it's more like the fact that I feel so like proud and blessed that I get to sit with these people that I'm like, in my mind, they're doing like the best work and they're running a business the way that it should be. And they're still interesting and kind and funny. And it's just like, I don't know. I hope that as much as I understand that, obviously, I hope that still for the rest of my life, I get to sit with people that I'm like, holy,
you can say whatever you want.
Sorry. I don't know if my clients are listening. They're going to be like, holy she has a potty mouth.
Say it.
But yeah, like, holy fuck, I'm basically sitting with the amazing, creatives.
By the way, and if a client's listening to this, they should understand the level of competence and admiration you have for the craft.
Thank you.
And the passion for it to be able to say those kinds of things, because the reality is you're thinking it, say it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you're holding back, you're not doing someone justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to be like the Prophet Parsons. You got to be like the parents. You got to be like
oh my God, the Prophet Parsons were harsh.
You know, that's what you've got to be. That's what's how set you apart. So tell me about the evolution of the projects that you've had, but also at the same time as because I don't want to go past, I don't want to go to now. I want to only go like within, a couple of years, literally like a year or two after you started. What were some of those projects looking like? And at what point, how many projects or what type of projects did you acquire that said to you, I need to hire someone to help?
Yeah. So my God, my dates, I really feel old. Like, I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, so I had people that I would hire on contract to help me sometimes. And the first one that I did was I'm pretty sure it was for the basement art gallery that we were doing, because I was always doing all my drawings and all the schedules and everything myself. And then I met somebody that helped me with the drawing package for one gallery basement during COVID. It was people started really investing in their basements. We did this art gallery in a basement with a bar, and it was
a private gallery, like
a private gallery.
Home.
So they collect art, and they would rotate it. And they had an art consultant, and the art consultant had referred us. And I don't even remember how she met us, to be honest. And that was the first time that I started getting some extra hands. And it was amazing. And we still are good friends, and she still helps sometimes here and there when we're in a pinch. And then we ended up hiring somebody full time as a right hand, just to help us even source, grab things, set up and install. And then from there, I don't even know. It was just getting bigger projects where there was an architect and us, and we got to, pick all the windows and the doors and the tiles and the floors and literally everything. And once we started getting those projects, we started bringing in more people on a contract basis. So just, helping here for drawing specifically, helping as sourcing specifically. And then it just went from there, just started growing and growing. And that was, I don't even know. It was on the blink of an eye, we're doing insanely incredible projects. And we have an office space, which it went from my basement, our kitchen, back to the basement, to an office that did not have a window, which was awful. And then to now we have a window, and now we're expanding to a second big window. And We have a team of 5 and we have consultants as well, or 6. I don't even know. I should know. And it's just been, just kind of figuring it out as we go. But like, and by getting a lot of advice as well, like talking to these designers that I've admired and now give me advice. And it's funny because they also ask for advice and I'm like, what? And we talk, we share resumes and we talk to each other. Like our procurement manager we hired because an interior designer friend was like, oh my God, you need to hire this girl. I don't do procurement, but you do. And that's how it was. So I feel that, like by creating community within the community, it's also what's helped me.
And how did that start? Were you the one to initiate some of these community opportunities, or did people come to you? How did it work?
I think it started also, how some people, there's designers that never want to share any information. Yeah. Like they just don't say what's what. Like I've never been like that. I feel like who cares if you use the same tile as me? Like we can both have the same ingredients to cook a bolognese and it's not going to taste the same because I'm a horrible cook. So like, you know what I mean? Like we can all have the same ingredients and still create something completely different. Yep. So I've always been open to that. And I feel like when people were asking me, like different designers, like, oh my God, I love that. What's that? And I would tell them, then a conversation on Instagram would start.
Right.
And then we'll be like joking, like here and there. And then we'll be like, should we meet for lunch? And then we would go on a blind date and then it would turn into and then that's how it starts. Like, and I remember somebody you had on the podcast, invited me to like send me this beautiful email to go to a dinner she was hosting at her studio. And I was so nervous. I literally was like, how does this woman even know? Like, she's literally like on my, when you have like a, whatever you're planning, you have like, what would whatever do? Like that's one of my people there. And, and then, but she said it at the dinner. She's like, we've noticed you from posting one thing. Oh, that's cool. Then another one's that's cool. And it's like, okay, I got to meet her. And I feel like, again, Instagram, which I'm also trying to stay away from it, but Instagram has created that opportunity for me in ways that I 100% would have never had if it didn't exist. Right. Absolutely never. I think it was at the right time, like COVID, Instagram, and being able to, and also like, again, to your point, I put in the work 100%. Like I've had my 2 little boys who I like die for, but they've started daycare at 5 months, and like I've had to work from the NICU when my second was born early. And there's just no, like failure is not an option. Right. And the work doesn't stop. So you're nodding. You're making me.
I am. Because I'm just thinking about how when we initially spoke about this, you kept talking about how you were very nervous about doing it, and you're totally, here you are, and you're totally settled in, and you're talking about like the realities of what it is to be a mom, an entrepreneur, to put everything on the line, and to find ways to make it all work, and one of the reasons why I love this format and I love sitting across from people is that you get to hear the individual that I'm talking to self-realize the evolution of their life to the point of where we're at. And it becomes a really, really nice like legacy piece of where you're at and where you're going. Yeah. And I just get a lot of joy out of it because I don't think enough people stop to actually analyze where they're at. I think a lot of business owners go. Yeah. And you have to go. Yeah. But you also got to celebrate the small little things in between it all.
Yeah. And you know what? Send me a bill because this has been the best therapy session. Like seriously, because I was nervous coming in and like to your point, it's like, there's no time to stop. But then, and I was like, what are we going to talk about? Like, I don't know what I have to say, but clearly I do have a lot to say.
What's your own life? That's,
And I do, and I say this all the time, like, I love my life. And even though I am exhausted and I'm tired and I complain a lot about all those little things, I love it. And I love my job. I love my job. I love my family. Like, and I've had it easier than many and harder than a lot as well. You know, I have no family here. If my parents were here, they would be picking up from school, helping me like with the late nights and the runs for the hospital.
You say that, and I can tell you that my mom's here. She helps out as much as she can. She's a little bit older, so she can only do so much.
Of course.
And
of course.
My in-laws, they live here, but they're gone for 6 months of the year.
Yeah.
So, sometimes they could be here, but
yeah,
you might not be getting everything out of them because they're doing their own things.
Exactly.
But you build a support network around you.
Yes.
Of those that you can have professionally and those that you can have personally. And sometimes there's those that can blend the lines between both.
Yeah.
And when you develop those relationships, that's when you actually start to really feel like blanketed.
Yeah. I think I have a great support system.
Well, it sounds like it.
I do. I have my in-laws, but I also I have a great support system with my neighbors. Even like it's wild the community that it's to your point that you build.
Yeah.
With my team, even with my old team, like everybody that has worked at our studio and has left for any reason, I still feel proud of that time and that relationship. And the fact that like, if they've moved on into like even a better team, like the fact that we get to like nurture that. I don't want anybody to stall. You know what I mean? I feel like, and again, I'm derailing, but it's that back and forth with everybody around you. And I also think, I'm not complaining. I'm saying like, it's just community in your work, community in your life and with your kids and your kids' friends' parents and like the whole thing. It's amazing what we can all do. Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about projects on a go forward basis. Those that you're wrapping up, those that are potentially new, and we don't need to talk about specifics of like who the people are necessarily or locations necessarily of projects. Nothing that you don't feel confident in talking about.
Yeah.
Or is appropriate to talk about.
Yeah.
But in terms of scales of project, you start off with a renovation of a home in Rosedale, which for those of you that aren't from Toronto is worth noting. Rosedale is a really, really beautiful area in Toronto. There's a lot of heritage properties in there. There is a really, really strong foundation of the community and what they will and will not allow to happen in that community. You best not block someone from being able to go anywhere in Rosedale because they have the means to be able to make your life miserable.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
So talk about scales of project and locations if you can.
Yeah, of course. I need to say too that I know we say we don't talk about lucky, but a lot of my projects have also started with like friends that have trusted me,
which is
it's
very
huge.
Rare.
I know. I'm very lucky that I have put the work and I work really hard for my friends, but I'm very lucky that I've had that connection, right? And that they trust me with their biggest asset, really. So, a lot of my projects have been from friends.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It also speaks a lot about who you are. Because, I know I told my friends when I was working on the construction management stuff, I'm like, I won't do your project, but I'll consult for you. Like, I'll help you.
Yeah.
I would never want to touch the relationship.
Yeah. And that's funny because I'm trying to go away from it just because for me, the relationship is more important, but we've managed to not have those, the bumps. The bumps. Yeah. And in a way, it's like I feel so proud when they invite me as a friend to their space that we've created and to see them living the space exactly how we imagined it. It's literally like, I can't even, like, it's the best. And like their kids doing like jumping, like it's exactly what we envisioned. And I was like, this coffee table needed extra support because I knew, she was going to be dancing on it. Like all these little things are so, and for my kids to come and enjoy it too. And like, it's the best. So
one of my favorite, Drew, if you make it through this episode, I'm going to name you in it. But so Drew Mandel has become like I would say a good friend of mine, Drew, are we going to call each other good friends?
His work. Yeah.
So Drew's my date. We go to all of the events together that we typically go to. pick them up. Right, Drew? Anyhow.
Amazing.
So I say this because one of the most interesting things that I felt I've taken away from all of my interviews with people and discussions with people, Drew, and I've referenced this multiple times, that on a residential project, the difference between residential and anything that is on the commercial, public, civic, whatever other side of res, is that when a residential project completes, the doors close. And you don't get to experience it anymore as a designer or an architect in many scenarios. But on the other side, when it's complete, the doors open and now you get to go and experience it. Yeah. It's very rare that you get to do this professionally and then also get to experience your work. Yeah. It's rare. It's honestly, and I know it's rare, and it's such a blessing for me. Like, my husband knows how hard I work. He works really hard too. And he's sometimes like, oh my God, like, is it worth it? And then this couple that we did a house for, they started as clients and we became friends after, to the point that her and one of my best friends threw me a surprise 40th last year. Like, that's how close we've become. And we've been to their house, etc. But they invited us for dinner as a thank you. And they invited my husband. And when they both spoke about what that house means to them now and how all the things that I pushed, they're so grateful for that. Like, in part also the lighting, for example. Yeah. Like, that for me, it's just everything. And not just for them to say it to me, because I don't need people to tell me. It's just seeing that they love it and that they enjoy it and that they're proud of it and that their home is very much theirs because we did the work of listening and translating and understanding and not being scared that all of our projects look different, because we really care about making their space theirs. Right. And yeah, I know it's like, for me, it's just, I get to see these places because either we become friends afterwards or because, you know, like, I've been lucky enough that they were my friends that trusted me. And that is for me the biggest, like, compliment. Yeah. Like, and not just that, like, I'm lucky for that. Yeah. It's a blessing because it doesn't happen for everybody, like you said. So a question, a lot of the work has been residential, right? Yep. And most of our work has been residential. Right. So do you want to deviate from that at all? We do commercial. We've done, which is so fun. Listen, design is, like, for me, design is design. Like, I have a call later for a potential restaurant. Like, that's what I was wondering. I am, like, I want to do it all. Like, I love, it's back to what my dad said. When you are an architect or you're a designer, your job is to understand the user, right? So that's design. It's to listen and learn and research and apply. Yep. So, like, we've done jewelry store. We had never done a jewelry store. I think we nailed it. It's beautiful. The clients were amazing that they trusted us again with our first stores. We've done 3 with them now. And then we did their house, right? And then this commercial world has opened up for us. There's a store that we're doing that I shop there often. And they called us for us to do their big flagship. And it is, we're having the best time. It's a lot of work. It's a whole different muscle. It's okay. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Now we're currently doing 2 retail spaces in Summerhill. It's wild. And again, I'm like, who knows what's next? Like, a little hotel, a restaurant, like, I don't know, like a hotel in Italy. Who knows? Why not? Why not? Exactly. And it's so interesting that you say that. My company that I worked with, Via Vitsuno, part of their motto was perché no, which is that, like, why not, in Italian. And I really always try to think exactly that. Like, what is the no and why is the no? Like, when a builder, for example, is like, we can't do that. I'm like, why not? Like, I really want to understand it so that then we can say, okay, we can't. But, like, really, most of the things we can, right? So it's just really trying to understand where to push and what not to push and the reasons behind all of it. Anyways. This is so fun. Told you the nerves go away. You start going into like a flow. I was so nervous. I'm like, maybe I'll have my own podcast with you. We're going to partner on this now. Well, there might be something else we got to work on. So as you go forward now, I know we were talking about them, and I don't want to go into specifics, but you've got opportunities that are in front of you now that can ultimately really help change where you're at, in a really good way.
Yes.
And so we're going to hope that all of those, if you want all of them, that they all land.
Yeah.
So we'll just talk those into existence.
Yes.
And as you go forward, what is the project that you would love to have? Is there a project that you'd love to have? And are there any architects that you haven't worked with out there that in this world that you love, that you have never worked with, that you would love to work with? Because let's just talk some stuff into existence right now.
So projects that I would like to work with or in, honestly, my dream, I have many dreams. And if you want, we're going to become friends. I know that, but as you become my friend, you're going to know, like, I'm a huge dreamer. Like, I want so many things. I would love to have a small hotel and run it myself as well.
I'm sorry. You want to run the hotel or you want to own the hotel?
Both. Why not?
Why do you want to run it? Why not just own
maybe I just want to own it, but
Yeah.
I have so many different ideas, but I would love to design a small hotel in Europe or in the countryside here.
Okay.
And I would love to partner up with a university and kind of do apprenticeship. Like, you know what Frank Lloyd Wright used to do in the desert? Where his apprentices would like have to build these little tents in the desert. Yeah. I would love to partner up with a school and create these spectacular, like once a year, like rooms. Let's say that's the room on the tree. That's the room on the water. That's the room on the ground. Like these spectacular things that are very design focused to nurture students as well.
I will connect you with some people on that one.
Let's do it. Great.
Serious.
So I would love to do that. Like a creative hub, but also that is, very nice and like not inexpensive for you to stay in. Like I feel that the creativity is there. And a lot of the time it's like, we can't build it because, let's do it. Let's find these crazy talented people and let's create experiences. I feel like the hotels are leaning more towards this experience things. Yeah. Anyway, so that's one thing that I would love to do. And then, I mean, there's so many architects that I would love to, like, if you tell me Kengo Kumo, yeah, of course, why not? That would be amazing. But also, you just show me an architect
Michael Leckie.
Michael Leckie, amazing. Like that type of like design as well. I'm very interested in because a lot of people think that because of the work that we've done and that we do, we can't do minimal. I love minimal as well. Like I just like it's the research behind it all that I love.
Yeah.
And the translating, like we don't necessarily have to have a style. We just need to understand it. And I feel that, like I love to just like learn more and push ourselves more. So yeah, anyways, the world is our oyster.
100%. Okay. All that said, let's leave professional practice and let's talk about a little bit about the family and about your own personal life and what you like to do for yourself. So family, you mentioned that you met this fine gentleman at Parsons.
Yeah.
And he is now your husband with two lovely children.
2 boys, yeah.
So talk about that. This serendipitous moment of meeting each other and moving countries together.
So I must say that I knew I was going to marry him the second I saw him. He did not think the same thing about me. Steven.
Steven, okay.
When he's in trouble, he's Steven. Usually he's just Steve for Stevie. But yeah, no, he's a really good guy. But I saw him and I was like, I told my girlfriend that and I was like, I met my future husband. And she literally joked like, does he know that yet? She said it at our wedding. She's like, I remember when Clarisa came in and said that. And yeah, no, we were friends and I always had a rule that I don't like, shit what you eat. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry, you should beep that. But
that's okay. What else say?
But he was such a good guy and quite handsome. And we got along really well. And it's like we shared interests and he loved art. Yep. He had done studio art before his master's. So we both share the love of art and he's curious like me and we like to just like, and he's a good guy. So then he moved here and I came afterwards, like I said, worked and then we got married and we had 2 like beautiful, wildly savage like boys. We had them via surrogacy. I don't even know if that's a thing that people need to know, but I always
Why
like
not?
to say that because I think it's important that
So do I.
we normalize it.
Yeah.
I couldn't carry. I would like miscarry all the time, and it was a hard part of life.
That is mentally.
Oh, it was awful. That's why I left the sales world. But it was I was again lucky. Dude, there's places where you luck is valid. That I met this woman that
God bless this part of the story, man. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, and she's amazing. She carried both of her boys. She's amazing. Like she has her 4 kids and she carried Henry and then she carried Sebastian. She got preeclampsia with Sebastian, so it was terrifying. It was awful, but she did it. And we have our 2 wild, beautiful, healthy, savage, hilariously interesting humans that we don't know what we're doing, but we are figuring it out as we go. Same as like, starting a business. We have good kids. So we're lucky. And I know lucky is not a word that we need to uber use, but it's fun. And our weekends are fun. They're exhausting, but they're fun. Like we like doing things together, the 4 of us. And, it's just, I do feel very lucky.
Yeah.
With all
I
that.
think luck works in that scenario.
Yes, 100%.
But also who the hell am I to justify how you use it? And what do you like to do for yourself? What are some of your interests and hobbies nowadays?
I'm learning how to ski.
Okay.
I'm a horrible skier. Horrible. But I like it.
Tough age to learn that, by the way.
Very tough age.
Have you heard of ASPADs?
What's that? No, but I need one for sure. I mean, I do have a little bit of big butt.
It doesn't matter. ASPADs is definitely going to help.
Yeah.
If you're falling down and landing on your butt.
Oh my God.
You will when you're landing.
I fall a lot.
AZZ ASPAD.
Okay. Noted.
Yeah.
I will 100%.
It'll save your spine.
That is the thing. Like you fall. Oh my God. Anyways, but my son and I took our first lesson together. Okay. So Henry, last year, and he's way better at
of course.
He goes on all the hills.
He's a kid.
I'm still on the little hills.
Yeah.
But it's so like when you're doing it, it's incredible. It's amazing. So I'm into that. I'm into learning how to ski. I used to horseback ride and now I want to take it again. Once like my life slows down a little bit,
yeah.
I want to start riding again. My husband is very allergic to horses though, which sucks, but we'll figure that out.
Just be there.
No, I know, but it's crazy. Like if I come back, even if I get changed outside, he still sneezes. Anyways, that's a whole different thing, but we need to figure that out. And
Steve, come on, you gotta resolve that.
I know, we need to figure that out. So I would like to get back into that. But my favorite thing really is I love just going to galleries. Like we travel a lot for art. I travel with a group of friends that are also very interested in art. We go to Sonamaco with one of my best friends, who I also did her house in California, actually. We go to Mexico City every February to Sonamaco, and then it started growing.
Oh, I'm going to introduce you to somebody in Mexico City.
Oh, please do. I love Mexico City.
Go on, sorry.
And we now want to start like exploring other places now that the kids are also a little bit bigger, maybe going even with them, maybe. My girlfriend runs these tours that are called The Next Path, and it's like referral based that you go onto these private collections, you go into artist studios, you go to galleries, and you learn so much. And it's like, for me, it's fun, but it's also, I learn so much from it and I get so much inspiration from it for my work.
Yep.
From like, not just the art itself, but like the process of the artist and the way of that they think and all of that. It's like, I'm lucky. I feel like that I love, like my hobbies, a lot of them are very aligned with my work. And then also I love hitting a ball. Like when I was little, I used to play baseball. I wanted to be a baseball player actually. And I also I was trying to learn padel 2 years ago. And every time I hit a ball, it was like, if I did one thing right today was that at least I hit the ball once. And now my Henry is really into like Steve, Henry and I go and we literally stand in front of a wall at the school around our neighborhood. And we start hitting the ball against the wall and we all just like play with each other.
Tennis?
Well, we're doing it with pickleballs right now because is what we had. And, and it's easier for the kids and it's so fun. It's so fun. So I think that's going to be our new My new hobby,
Well,
racket sports.
So I grew up playing tennis, like
You did?
my
Amazing.
whole life. Yeah, I coached for 13, 14 years.
Amazing.
And I actually just watched again. Yes, I watched a video on Instagram of Federer
Oh, wow.
hitting against a wall, and he's saying that one of the best things about the wall is that it keeps you honest.
Yeah, it does.
And so learning how to play against the wall teaches you about footwork, hand-eye coordination, spin, all the things that you need to learn, and then reaction time, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's a great thing, and it's just good for longevity of life to be able to keep your hand-eye coordination going and your movement, and your mental capacity for being able to like make quick decisions.
Yeah. It was honestly like my husband one day just decided for us to just go do it. And we've been doing it every weekend since the sun's been out, and it's been like such a fun. Like we literally bring the sandwiches to the park.
Sun's been out.
I know.
For those that don't know, the Canadian winter in 2025 to 26 was fucking awful.
It was very.
It was so bad. It was so much snow. It was cold. It was miserable. It was a long freaking winter, and we're right now in like almost the tail end of a 2-week bliss of Mother Nature.
I know.
Anyhow, sorry.
It's been like that song, and you're hot and you're cold and you're yes and you're no. It's like couldn't figure it out. It was like it's winter. It's not. It's winter. It's like anyway. So I think now it's going to be very hot, but it's been incredible, and we've been it's just our new hobby, I guess.
It's great.
Yeah, it's fun.
What I never really asked you at any point during any of this was home cooked food. You don't have parents around right now cooking you any home cooked meals. Have there been any traditions that your parents have passed on to you about like home cooked meals that you cook now?
Well,
that you don't, that someone else does?
So we had my mom sucks at cooking. And actually you and I just had lunch, and I mentioned to you how the rice had the crispy part. We call it the gongong, which is like the scraped rice at the bottom of the pan. That's something that I've always loved. And back home we had Juanita, who was she was our cook. She just passed away last year. Thank you. And she was the most incredible cook in the world. And sometimes when I try something that reminds me of like all the things that she would make, like the best, and I can never make it the same still, rice and beans with like fried plantain, and like it's just like they call it a Dominican flag. It's just that like I'm a rice eater. I love rice.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, like we ate rice every day at lunch, and I still will if I can. Like it's so.
I'm glad we were able to fulfill that today.
Thank you. I know. I was very happy. So it's just that, and then like I don't know how to cook it yet, but paellas from my dad, I've made a few. I still need to perfect it. I love, because my dad's Spanish.
Yeah.
They actually just moved to Madrid.
Your parents just moved to Madrid?
Yeah, during COVID.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So have you gone to visit?
We were just there in March.
Okay.
My kids love it.
Yeah, for sure.
They love to travel, which I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
Henry, the little one, Sebastian, the other day says like, "Mommy, can we go to the airport and go to another world, and we can wake up in another world at Yaya and Papa's house?" And I was like, oh my God, I wish we could just like wake up in another world too. But they love it. They're like always want to go to the airport.
What a great innocent way of describing travel.
I know. Like, let's just get on a plane and wake up in another world.
Yeah.
They loved it. And Madrid is incredible. It's so beautiful there. But also there's this tres leches cake that she also used to make that we just ordered last night from Hacienda, and my kids are obsessed, and I'm like, I need to perfect it. I tried to make it during Christmas. It was almost there.
It was edible, but like
it was edible,
but border of edible.
Yeah. So one day, I feel like once my life slows down a little bit, I want to I love when I like make something that my family enjoys. It's similar to that feeling, probably even better than when you create a home for somebody that like loves it. It's like there's nothing better than nurturing your family, I think, even though I'm not good at it. But anyways, yeah.
Clarisa, it's been a pleasure having you on. I'm so happy you said yes. Chatting today has been a ton of fun. There's no bill. I appreciate you taking the time to do this, knowing that you're also in the middle of like closeouts of projects and some proposals you've got to work on. I know it's been busy for you. I want to say to you on air, I appreciate all of that, and that I hope that you land all the projects that you need to, that you get to work with some of the people that you want to work with, and that ultimately at one point of your life, you get to own the boutique hotel.
Thank you.
Because why not?
Why not? I know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for trusting me with your space. Thank you.